Welcome back to the Organic Matrix, the life guide in your pocket. Today we have a really exciting guest, one of my personal best friends. He's back on the show again, Randy Young. Welcome back, Matrix members. Today we have a special guest. We're going to be shedding light on a crucial topic that affects us all, the ongoing debate between bottled water and tap water. Get ready as we dive into the realm of water consumption and separate facts from fiction. I'm thrilled to reintroduce our returning guest, Randy Young, the expert behind Unbottled Life Purified. In this episode, Bottled Water versus Tap Water, Debunking Myths and Ensuring Safe Consumption, we aim to address the confusion and the panic that often arises after hazardous material spill incidents. Randy brings his wealth of knowledge and expertise to provide valuable recommendations for water storage and consumption, offering practical solutions to alleviate concerns and ensure the safety of our water supply. With Randy's extensive experience in the water industry and his work with Enagic Kangen water, he has witnessed the transformative power of purified water, ionized water, and its impact on lives. His true north is to help individuals have access to clean water while reducing their dependency on pharmaceuticals. Join us today as we explore the benefits of Kangen water, debunk common myths surrounding bottled water and tap water, and equip you with knowledge and tools so that you can make informed decisions about your water consumption. Randy's insights will dispel any misconceptions and guide you to a path of purified and healthier water consumption, leading to more of a non-toxic lifestyle. So if you're ready to dive into this world of water, debunk myths, and ensure safe water consumption, this episode is a must listen. Bookmark it now and get ready to embark on the journey of discovering the truth about bottled water. Randy, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Sam. It's such a pleasure to be back here. You're always such an amazing person to work with. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you. So, it's been some time since our last podcast episode. Would you like to tell the listeners what you've been up to since you've last been here?
Yes, I have. I would love to. A lot of things have changed, I finally got started rolling again in my RV, and I've just decided to rebrand myself with Unbottled Life Purified because I believe that's important, whether it's the water we're drinking or if it's the life you're living. So, and being involved now with two companies that I believe are the top notch, because I believe in doing research and having companies, one that's 49 years in business, and the second one being in business for 50 years, gives me the opportunity to work with somebody that's very well established and know what they're doing in the business. And I'm excited about that.
Oh, I'm excited too. There's just so much to talk about with water. Water is just something that we take for granted every day, right? But there's certain water we could drink. There's certain water we should never drink.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you start looking at our water sources and what, the federal government allows them to, give into our homes, for an example, it's scary. They're allowed to put chemicals in it and whatever, there's arsenic. There's so many different chemicals that are in bacteria in our water lines over the years that they just add chlorine to it to just try to kill everything. And, as long as our water system reaches a 7.0 pH level, it's okay. And they just let it flow into our house. So, that leaves it up to us to try to find a solution to start drinking clean water coming out of our homes. We have home systems now that, we can do the whole houses. And you can do each faucet at a single choice. There's so many varieties that we can choose from. And it's very important that we do filter our water.
I completely agree. Can you explain some of the key differences between bottled water and tap water and how they impact our health?
Yes, I can. Bottled water has been, it's a $90 billion operation, in the industry. And with bottled water, you know, it's like, so many of the companies have been, busted for, using tap water anyway. They're saying that they're purifying it, they're filtering it. But I'm not going to name names, but there's a couple of them that got caught doing it, just adding tap water. You figure, say, even if you put a purified water into a bottle, you don't know if it's been sitting in that bottle for 2 years, 3 years, or even a month. It sits there, and water is an absorbent. And when it's sitting in whatever it's sitting in, it's going to pick up whatever it's sitting into. So, there's studies showing now if you're drinking bottled water, let's say within, drinking bottled water within a couple of weeks, even a month, you're going to, exhume enough plastic particles the size of a credit card.
Oh
So,
my
I mean,
God.
and that's not saying all the other chemicals that are actually, in the bottled water.
Yes, like recently, like AT&T had a bunch of workers get lead poisoning because they didn't have like the proper equipment because they were touching a bunch of wires that were covered in lead from like 100 years ago from the Industrial Revolution. And I could just imagine that, it's AT&T. It's a modern company, it's a big industry. And for them to like have a lot of their workers actually get sick and die from lead, well, how do we know like what kind of debris are sitting in our water? Like from old pipes, old technology from 100 years ago. For all we know, one of those AT&T lines fell somewhere at a water pit, and it's just sitting there, and it's coming back to us.
Absolutely. And with our homes, I mean, sure, I'd love to have a 150-year-old home, but considering all the water pipe, the pipes and what's been sitting in that for, decades, people just don't think about that. I mean, we got pictures of water pipes that would scare you to death. That, just knowing that your water's flowing through it. I mean, even showering through it, and with the companies that are out there today that are established, offering people different, machines to take all that out, it's just a no brainer for me to, I mean, filter your water, try to do our best to, stay away from all these because, a lot of people can't afford to replumb their house from the street forward. And it's an expensive ordeal. And I'm guarantee you the city's not going to rebuild their pipelines. Look at where you're at, Sam. And I mean, look at everything is a concrete. You're in a concrete world out there, and they're not going to bust up the concrete just to give people, a clean water system to flow through.
That's absolutely true.
So, with bottled water being so, nasty, I mean, people just don't realize with water, air movement and light kills water. So you picture with your bottled water sitting there in the sunlight, just absorbing all that plastic, and you're not knowing if it's actual tap water, purified water. And did they just add chemicals to make it, pass a pH test showing that it is alkaline? I mean, there's so many tricks they can get away with, and you're still going to be getting that oxidation and the chemicals that it absorbs through the bottled water. And with our tap water, and like we were just saying, it's flowing through miles of disgusting bacteria filled, rat infested pipes that come through your house. And we still need to get rid of the bacteria and the chemicals that they produce, in our waters.
Not to mention, like recently I got a thyroid condition, and I told you a little bit about it, and I've been reversing it. And what I found out was while I was on the truck, I didn't have access to my Kangen water machine, and I didn't know about portable ionizers back then. And so I was drinking a lot of plastic from water bottles. And when I was doing research, I found out that the chemicals that leak from the plastic can cause hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. Like it messes with your hormones, and it's an endocrine blocker. That that it's such a big deal because our hormones dictate our mental health. And we can see our mental health is growing wary in our country. Like every year, we're hearing more people suffer mentally, even though it's less of a stigma and it's more talked about. It's still a missing piece. Because to me, if we had the whole picture, it would be corrected already. So I'm thinking that things like how we drink our water, because we're like, what, 90, 80% water,
Hmm.
that has to impact our quality of life drastically.
And you're right. It does. We're 75% water, and our brains like, 89%, so that's very important to be putting clean, purified water through our bodies. And people say, well, my grandma never did that. I never, we live in a totally different world now. Back when my grandma was raising food, we were, picking beans and raising chickens and cattle. I mean, we didn't have all the pesticides and herbicides and everything that the man made it, the man are doing now to our foods. I mean, all this is chemicals that have been soaked through the grounds, running through our water systems. And now it's very, we don't live in that same world. So it's time, to wake up and just, do what we have to do in these times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very important to have clean water. So, if you have to filter it, filter it. It's important for us to take our own health into our own hands.
Shout out to everybody in Flint
Yes. Well,
and
look at
Ohio.
Flint. I mean, every day I hear, there's something on in the news saying, oh, you got to boil your water. I hear that every day just about. It's because, look at that big spill that happened down south. That contaminated so many people's waters, and that they didn't get it all completely cleaned up.
Yeah, they try to cover it up.
Well, yeah, they try to cover up all the mistakes going on, and it's hard for I can understand where the government comes from because that's a costly mistake. But hey, you're talking about us Americans, the ones that we support and vote for, but they're just not willing to, put the effort and time into it. And so it is up to us to take care of our own health. And being, like I said before, 75% water, it is your choice to be drinking clean, healthy water.
Absolutely, and that's what it boils down to. It like, this year seems like, well, I think, like, this era that we in since AI came about and after the pandemic, it's like being our own heroes. And that's the other thing with the government is, like, at least tell us that we have to fend for ourselves. Like, don't let us believe, like, that we could depend on the systems now. And I think that's what the narrative switched. It was like, when I was growing up, I was raised with the ideologies that the systems are in place to keep me safe.
Hmm.
The systems are in place for my best interest. I always thought, "Oh, well, the FDA, and make sure we don't get anything deadly in our food." But then now that I'm older and I got to read my labels and I get to see the politics and capitalism involved with how we get our products for the consumers, it's wild to me that Johnson& and Johnson is a
Right.
baby company with top carcinogenic. And the other thing is they recommend us to boil the water, but recent studies show that because of the heavy metal content in the water and the chemicals, that if you boil it, it becomes more carcinogenic. It becomes a neurotoxin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, like, there we go. Our hearsay, what we used to do is not the same what we have to do now. And I'm just, very happy to see all these studies coming out that, and they're warning us now at least. Years ago, you didn't hear a warning about boiling your water, and now finding out that that's not the best thing you can possibly do. So, but at least they're attempting to, warn people about things, but they're not going to take that extra step that we need to take for ourselves and our families. And that's why there's so many companies out there that are, in this industry. And like with my research that I've done for the past 5, 6 years, it's like, I try to find the best. I want to find what really works, what solutions, each of these products are going to give a person, And I believe with our watering, our filtering our water, without ionization has to become through multi-pure, because they've been in business for 50 years. They've done all their research. They do most of their all their work is done in Las Vegas. And it's very important to find, to me, to find a company that's willing to go that extra step and do that and make sure that they are filtering the best water they can for their consumers. And then you take a next step farther. You want to ionize your water. Sure, everybody wants to drink a 9.5 alkalized water with hydrogen rich antioxidant water, with a glass full of water full of antioxidant, the same equivalent of 5 pounds of blueberries. Everybody wants that in their life because it's, but not everybody can do this. But it's the option that, I want to offer the people. It's the option that these companies are offering you. But the first step would be to filter your water. Get your water clean. Get the chemicals out. Take care of what you can right now. That's what's most important.
I totally agree. Ionized water is hard to compare to bottled water. Like, now that I had ionized water in my life, like bottled water, it's just like my body rejects it. Can you tell us some of the differences between ionized water, what it is, and how it compares to bottled water?
Sure. Well, most people, bottled water is just a full, probably 90% of it's going to be a tap water anyway. And it's such a big moleculed water that it's, you're going to get absorbed maybe 10% of what that bottle, what you drink, and the rest of it's going to sit in your gut. And between that and an ionized water, that ionized water is broken down into a small molecule. I don't know if you've ever seen a ionizer work. It's got two hoses, one that you're getting your drinking out, and the other is excess. And that's breaking the water down into a small molecule so it absorbs into your body right away. And when you first start drinking an ionized water, you'll feel a head rush because our brains are the first thing that's going to be, hydrated. So when you are drinking a glass of, let's say, living water you're going to get 78%, if not 80, of that water you drink is going to be absorbed into your body right away, and you're not going to get that full filling in your stomach.
Oh, I would love for you to tell the audience why you call it living water.
I call it living water because that's what it is.
Look at this. This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
With the company I'm with, Kangen means back to original. And if I can't afford to live next to the Himalayan mountains where there's the purest water there is. And this is the closest thing that I have found over the years that I can have. Living water is alive. And when you're drinking hydrogen bubbles, living water right away, that is giving your cells in your body to produce and help it heal itself right away. And when you drink a glass of dead water that's been sitting around for who knows how long, it's going to go straight to your gut, sit in it, and slowly oxidate your body. That's why they say, well, living water does what? Well, living water is anti-aging. Living water is going to reach your cells quicker. Living water, I'm 62 years young, and I don't have ache and pain in my body because I know my arthritis is no longer with me. I don't worry about, the energy that I get. If you ever follow me, the energy that I receive from it is tremendous. I love knowing that the water I put in my body is helping me, and I'm giving my body a chance to heal itself, which it should be doing.
Oh, I love your story, Randy. And it's true. Matrix members, you have to follow Randy at Unbottled Life Purified. He will brighten your day every morning. Randy outworks me when it comes to like energy. Like, I really want that energy that you have right now. Like, if I could have that energy at 62, I'm sure everybody looks at you and they're like, "What's your secret?" Right?
Well, I get that all the time. It's like, what are you doing, Randy? Are you back? I'm recovering that. They said, back, are you back to using it? I'm like, no. It's just putting, it's putting things in my body that makes my body feel itself. It heals itself, gives me the energy. Sure, I love to drink my coffee because my water turns it it's not acidic anymore. So I'll sit and drink a pot of coffee, and it's just the energy, the nutrition. I mean, and the mindset. If you're going to feel old, you're going to feel blah. It's like eating a half of a pie, which we've all done half the time. You're just going to sit there and be a lump on the log. So it's all about what we feed our bodies and our minds. So that's what it comes down to it.
Absolutely. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned being your friend was when you introduced Romain to our show, and he talked about how he had acidosis. He's trying to drink a lot of water to break down the acid, but then his acidity was increasing, and that it took the ionized water to actually level out the acidity levels in his body. His story really impacted me because how often do we get stomach aches or acid reflux when we try to chug bottles of water and the ORP machine? Like when you showed me, like, Matrix members, so the ORP machine is an oxidative reduction potential meter. And Randy showed me that we can test our water to see its acidity levels. When I tested bottled water, it was way high into the positive range, which means that there was oxidative stress all in that bottle. And when I ionized it, it was like negative 800, which means it reduces oxidative potential by 800. That really blew my mind because we look at water as a healing factor for all life. And if we're going to be drinking water at access and it has a similar acidity as soda, how are we going to expect the healing? Like, what are we really doing to our bodies? If you would like to talk about acidosis and the acidity of water bottles, teach us a little bit about the ORP. I would love for you to do that for us.
Sure. The ORP is oxidation reduction potential. That's a meter that is going to tell us whether this is aging us or if it's actually helping us. If anybody that does oxidation is like you cut an apple in half. What's it do over time? It's going to turn brown. It's going to wilt, and like rust on your car for all the people up north. That's what oxidation is doing. And that's what anything on a positive ORP is doing to us. It's a free radical. And free radicals are everything that we eat, breathe, what we digest in our bodies. Even our own bodies produce free radicals. So, being living beings, being electronic, our electrons should be antioxidants. And that's where the negative charge of the ORP comes in. That's where it comes in effect. Anything on a negative charge on the ORP meter is an antioxidant. That is something that's helping your body produce new cells, giving new life, and just being healthy for you, giving your body a chance to do what it's supposed to do. If you put, there's a lot of bottled waters I test nowadays that turn purple. I'm like, oh, cool. But then you read the ingredients, and guess what? It's got they're just adding chemicals to it. So if you want to alkalize your water, there's an alkalize and alkaline. If you're alkalizing, you're doing it through an electrolysis. It's not adding chemicals. It's doing it through, it's changing the pH level through electronics. And that's what we want to do, because anything on a negative charge, I could stick it into, I've done this with my Live Ultimate Nutrition. Mix it up. I'll test my water before it, and then I'll test my water after it. And yes, it puts it on a negative charge because of all the superfoods and all the medicinal mushrooms that are added to that. And that's what I like about the ORP meter. You can't, fool a meter. You can fool drops, but you can't fool an electronic what it's made to do. And that's what people need to realize. We need antioxidants to survive a healthy life. So, and being 75% water, it needs to be, water is It's survival. You can go for days without eating, but try going for days without water. Body's going to shut down.
Yeah, and honestly, it blows my mind. I don't think that this is, like, looked at enough, but if we don't have enough antioxidants in our body, our cells fight over electrons.
Hmm.
They literally steal from each other. So, like, that's where illness comes from. Illness comes when the body turns on itself and it starts stealing from itself. And to me, it's like, the laws of nature. Everything in life is another manifestation of itself.
Right.
If we're not giving ourselves genuine food, we're eating a bunch of processed junk, plastics, because it's convenient. And it's as if we have a society and we're the president and we give them dog food. Like, it's kind of like the same to me because it's like, "Here, take scraps. Don't fight over it though." You know,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah,
so it's
no,
like we gotta have we have to put more care into how we take care of our bodies because I feel like it's a cultural thing that we put our car expenses, our car note, our rent before taking care of the place that we exist in, which is our body.
right. And that is so true. I mean, when people realize that, hey, if I'm sick, if I'm so acidic that I'm just constantly going to the doctor and then he's going to prescribe me a pill, well, guess what? All that's going to do is give your body something else it needs to fight off before it does you any good. If it does you any good. Being as young as I am and not on any medications and all I do is my water and my nutrition, I don't worry about going to the doctor. If I could test my own blood and figure out if my cholesterol and everything was high, I wouldn't even go there once a year like I do now just to make sure, how everything's good. But people just, they get in it, like you said before, it's convenience. I need to drive a $85,000 truck, but I can sit here and eat a candy bar on the way down the road, and not worry about, maybe it should have been a banana or an apple. Or it's just, if you can't afford, it's like, okay, you can't afford to get sick, but are you doing the proper maintenance so you won't get sick? I look at health as being a preventive maintenance. What you do is going to be your outcome. If you're gonna eat processed food, if you're gonna drink bottled water all day long, sure, it's been going on for years, but guess what? It's gonna catch up with us sooner or later. 6 years ago, I was, 50 pounds overweight, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Oh, my doctor was begging me to get on cholesterol. Pretty soon, I'm gonna be a diabetic. It was time for me to look at different paths. And then when Diva got sick, bless her heart, and I got introduced to this Enagic, then it just changed my life. It made me look at things. I mean, it's like, my God, I took her home dying from the vet to watch her die on my footsteps. And I know I'm going to cry. But then I watched, and then he brought me fresh water every day. And I watched her just go from lethargic to coming alive. And the fifth day, she met him at the door. It was like she knew he was coming. And it was just something that you have to experience it in order to believe it, in order to be grateful for. I read right away, I need this right now. This is helping her. I mean, my God, she's only 9. I want her in my life. So it's, I got 6 more years out of her, and I decided 3 months after watching her drink it and getting healthier, what's it going to do for me? I adopted a pit bull. She's a brindle pit bull, and I got her when she was a puppy, like 3-4 months old. She trucked across the United States with me. I was driving semi truck, and I needed something for me to keep me, from killing myself. Run, run, run. So having her with me was making me, force me to stop, force me to walk, force me to do some healthy things for that. I needed. We had a beautiful life together. I mean, she was everything to me. She got me clean. She got me, she gave me response. She did everything that I needed. Running around the country, half whacked out of your brain, I mean, it just made me think. It made me think what's important in life. I mean, I wasn't taking care of me, but I had to take care of her. Then I got to the point where she was more important than me. So then that just, we fed off each other. I mean, I'd hit the air brakes and she knew it's time. Let's roll. Time to go. We're gonna get a walk. We're gonna get something to eat. We're gonna get the hell out of this truck for a while. That's all she cared about. Dogs are amazing. I mean, people that we're with are amazing. I mean, we learn little lessons through everybody that we meet in life. I believe that the good Lord puts people in our lives for either a reason or a lesson, or a blessing or a lesson. With her was a blessing, just like you. You've been a blessing in my life, and I mean, we meet people that change us, even without even trying. It's just, it become, a natural change is so much better than trying to break a habit. A habit takes 21 days, but when you meet someone that just, wow, and you just feel like, well, I don't want to do that. It makes me feel good. And that's just the way I feel about, helping others and keeping myself and clean and, healthy, just so I can help others for the time to come.
And
And
it's beautiful how you pay it forward because, like, you saw what happened with Diva, and to me, it sounds like divine, right? Like, when it reminds me of biblical times when we still prioritize baptism, but when baptism was a new thing, it was like, "Let the water heal you, let the water clear you." You actually got to see somebody kind of like your pup kind of resurrect. Like, you
right.
literally saw her resurrect, so it's like, you took that and you shared it, and you share it with people every single day, and I think that's like a God-given gift that you were chosen to carry that because I can't imagine, like, if I were to witness that, if I were in your shoes, I can't imagine me keeping the water a secret after seeing what it did, and I can only imagine how many other divas and grandmas and grandpas and loved ones that
Absolutely.
you're saving by spreading this information because if Diva got 6 more years, how many people who are, like, at stage 4 cancer that would pray for 6 more years or
Mhm.
even 1 more year? And I know that this might trigger a lot of people, and that's definitely not where I'm coming from because all cases are different. But even one of, like, my favorite mentors, Jessie Lee, she was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. She's beating it. She's
Mhm.
beating it with the natural way. She's beating it drinking ionized water. She has a Kangen machine. She ironically bought it for her dog.
Mhm.
And so it's like these things we can heal. We have to have faith, right?
Yes. And faith is what it takes. And we got to find something to believe in. A lot of us don't know what we're going to believe in. You see something like this happen and you see the results. Just like when I moved into my camper, I was training red bone coonhounds and watching these dogs just turn around because, of course, they're going to be drinking living water if I'm with them. And just watching their energies and I mean, just everything changed. Their coats getting more beautiful. Watching them just slowly progress into a better, animal. And that's amazing to watch that. And then I get a call from somebody saying, "Hey, I got a sick dog. She's dying." She had, I can't remember exactly what he had, but it was, he got bit. And then plus his system was shutting down. So, I'm thinking, I looked at Romaine, I said, "Hey, I'm going to Oklahoma." So I went to Oklahoma and put a machine on her counter and watch Mac just come back alive and become the trophy dog that he is. You got to believe in what you got going on in your life. Stay positive and just find people that are believing it with you. I mean, that's what matters. I mean, we can't do this alone, but it's
Agree.
important that we just our faith stays strong. I can't say that it's going to cure this, cure that. Everybody's different, but I've seen cancer patients going through chemo and drinking this water, and it's like no side effects. Everybody's different, but I see it with my own eyes, and they feel it. So that's all that matters.
Yes.
That's all
Yes.
that matters is just making someone feel better and healthier than what they were before.
Yes. I love that. You inspire me so much, Randy.
Thank you, Sam. That's why I'm so honored to be here and be amongst the ones that are, giving people solutions to what they need.
Yes. It's such a privilege to have you back here too. And what your message is exactly what I want to spread. And this I love this. This is the time of the thought leaders. We get to inspire all the other ones to stand up.
And some of the people that you've, interviewed and done, I mean, they're amazing people. I mean, look at you. You're going to Napoleon Hill Institute. You're talking to all these beautiful people that are changing everybody's, mindset. And, people just don't sit down and realize what other people have accomplished and doing for themselves. And with all those interviews, it changed your outlook on, I could see it right away. Your smile got bigger, your brightness got brighter, and it's like you're unstoppable. And that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to have that shine, have that, have somebody look at you and say, wow, God, you're the brightest, beautiful person I've ever seen. And I want somebody to say that about me. I mean, it's like, wow. And I get that once, and I'm just like, man, that makes you feel good. If I could put a smile on someone's face every day, I would be, hey, I'm content. I've done my job.
You must be feeling pretty fulfilled then.
Yes, I do. I'm blessed every day. I am. And I mean, being, life's a struggle sometimes, but if you got the mindset to keep going, I mean, you got that main goal, always right here. You just got to kick yourself in the ass or have somebody do it for you, that's seeing it, saying, hey, get back on path. That's all it takes. And then you get a phone call and it changes your life. And that's what it's all about, is continuing down the same path, being consistent, and just being you and trying to brighten up lives and give solutions to problems going on around the world, and just open up everybody's mind to be, good human beings. That's all it is.
Wow, Randy. I wonder if our audience is thinking like, dang, is that what ionized water does to the mind? Because you wear it so well.
Well, I tell you, Sam, it does. I'm really amazed at what I couldn't do 5 years ago. What I can do now is just putting the proper nutrition and and clean water, and I get a sore on my hand. I cut myself or what. Man, I got a medical machine sitting right there. I spray a little 2.5. I mean, it's just unknown, just little things that it's going to make things better and easier in your life. And that's what all it takes. It's a medical grade machine. It'll change your whole life. That's why their sign is change your water, change your life. Take the medications out of your life. Let your body heal itself. You got an infant that's got a rash going on. Spray that 2.5 water, which is hypochlorous acid. Cure that out. Hey, spray some 6.0 so your body doesn't react to the 2.5 acidic water. Cure. Just little things that I take for granted that people don't know about. That's why it's important. There's so many of us distributors out there that are putting this out there that, this could do this could do that. It's just opening up your eyes and just saying, God, my son has got acne so bad that, I keep trying cream and cream. I'm just putting more chemicals on their face when I could just put 2.5, changed his skin level back to 6.0, which is our pH level. Just kill the germs, replace, the pH back. Do this on a certain amount of time and you're going to take away. Keep putting all that cream on, putting all that cream on, you're covering up, soaking more chemicals in you. That's like drinking bottled water. You're just feeding the fire.
Yes, since you brought that up and we're like getting to close to the end of our show, I really do want you to talk a little bit about the Anespa. I want you to like really paint a picture for the audience about our showers and psoriasis and dandruff and how the Anespa can really help us with these issues.
Well, the Arnespa is an amazing. I have one in my RV. I won't go anywhere without it because it's got a carbon filter, and it also has got stones from the Himalayan mountains that makes your water actually feel like a Japanese spa. It has taken all the chlorine and the chemicals out of your water. And our body absorbs everything that it touches. Once you realize that chlorine in our water is actually, which is a cancer causing, conogenic, your skin's not going to get dry. Your skin's going to reach a pH balance of 6.0, what it should be. And it's going to, you're taking the chemicals out of it. And you'll see the difference right away. I've had women that have that and say, oh my God, I won't wash my hair in anything but that. So, our company slogan, change your water, change your life. What do you want? Do you want to, spend the rest of your life throwing chemicals on your face to take off makeup and wash your hair? Or do you want to put water that's going to actually absorb into your body and be good for you?
Oh, it's a no-brainer for me.
See these women with these Anespas and even the machines and using the 6.0 water on their face and say, I don't need to wear makeup anymore because I slowly see, the wrinkles going away because it's happening in a natural way. And that's what it's all about, get away from the chemicals and do everything naturally. But I do love the natural shine and softness and, not breaking out. If I break out, then I got I got water to take care of it. I don't have to run to the doctor and take a pill or put a lotion on that's going to make it worse, and pray that it's, going to work. So, when you got an antibacterial water that kills MRSA, you're talking something that's very strong. That's why these are in Japan's hospitals, because Japan's number 1 or number 3 now in the world for health. They care. You'll never see these in the American hospitals.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical too big of a money. I'm gonna have a lot of people hate me for saying that, but that's just what it is.
I think people are starting to accept it now.
I think so too. Because, when you go to a doctor and he can't give you an answer, but he's willing to prescribe you a pill and that he doesn't even know if it's going to work. Oh, sure. Why would I take that? Yeah, why not? I'm a guinea pig, I'll try this.
Exactly. I'm like, is this a case study? Are you going to even take
Right.
data? Or are you going to just ask me, do you feel any different? Because,
Right.
how often I get distracted and I forget, that I'm hungry. How often in our days is our bodies trying to communicate with us, but we're so busy with the lights around us that we don't even realize that we're thirsty.
Right. Well, exactly. It takes effort. It takes consistency. If you want to stay healthy, then get away from the convenience in life and wait for that water ionizer to come on. Wait for that first drop of water to come out. And once you see the electricity in that water, you say, oh yeah, that's why. And then you fill up your glass of water and you down it and you get a head rush and you're thinking, damn, I'm glad I got this. If you drink, it's great for, you won't get a hangover anymore. What's a hangover? It's dehydration. Come home a little tipsy, drink 2 glasses of Kangen water, wake up in the morning, drink 2 glasses of Kangen water, and you're ready to go out and drink again if that's what you prefer. I don't suggest it, but it's just little things that take advantage of.
So, Randy, I loved speaking to you today. I love the stories that you shared with us today. I would love if you could tell our audience a little bit about Unbottled Life Purified and where they can find you, if they can, so they can contact you and work with you.
You can follow me on Instagram. My name is Randy Young, and now my Facebook is still Randy Young. Unbottled Life Purified. You can call me 712-490-8495. You can reach me on my website. You can reach me at my Gmail or my H2O rocks at gmail.com. My website is myliferocks.com. So, I'm very easy to get. If you're on social media, look for me on Instagram. I'm going to be back on LinkedIn pretty soon. And I appreciate you, Sam, so much for having me on here. I just love you to death. I love talking to you. I feel that we have a friendship that over the years that's just, you're my daughter, I love you to death. And it's like, this is a bond that'll always cherish and will continue to grow together.
Yes. I love you too, Randy. I'm so grateful for this connection, and I'm so grateful for the lives that we get to touch today. I'm so excited that we get to bring this to our Matrix members. And Matrix members, you're going to see a whole lot of Randy on my page. So get ready to smile a ton.
Everybody out there, thank you for listening. I do appreciate that. And follow Sam on the Organic Matrix. I mean, she's changing lives. So connect with her and let's rock and roll.
Let's do it. Thank you, Randy, for joining us on this insightful episode where we debunk myths and explore the importance of safe water consumption. Your expertise and passion for providing clean water solutions through Unbottled Life Purified and Enagic's Kangen water machine has been truly inspiring. Matrix members, if you want to continue learning from Randy and stay updated on the latest insights and resources in the world of clean water, make sure to follow Unbottled Life Purified on social media. Just look up Unbottled Life Purified, or you can look up Randy Young's name. Join his community of individuals where they prioritize their health and well-being through purified water. For those interested in exploring the benefits of Kangen water machines and finding the perfect solution for your water needs, Randy also partnered up with another filtration company.
Multi-pure,
Yes. If you're interested in these water filtration systems, then check out Randy's personal website, www.myh2oliferocks.com. Randy is ready to guide you to help solving water crisis, so don't hesitate to reach out to him directly. He's extremely personable, and he'll take care of your every need. Let's stay connected on social media, and Matrix members, I'll be seeing you on the next download.